Well, the concept for Hansel and Gretel came out of a lot of discussion about starting with the family, because depending on what different versions of the opera, sometimes the mother is seen as a villain, and then sometimes she reappears as the witch. But in ours, we really talked about it being a family in crisis. This is a family that hasn't eaten, and the stakes are so high that the family is sort of unraveling. And so I wanted to think about how that works with a costume and do literal unraveling of the costumes. So we start with all of the family being in gray tone. And there we were using a lot of deconstruction techniques, raw edges, mismatched fronts, just to get a sense that their world is spinning out of control. This production is not as Disney-fied as some other productions have been, and bright and cheery. We really wanted to look at the darker side of this story, and the fact that these children are really going into the forest because their home life is distressed. And while they see the forest as being sort of their safe place and their place of play, it's actually much darker, and they don't understand the real danger that's lurking within the forest. So it's been a really interesting trip to take. The other difference that maybe from other productions is that we wanted to have the Sandman and the Dew Fairy be organically coming out of the forest as opposed to characters coming through it. And so in our production, the Sandman actually rises out of the earth and is this sort of tree-like creature. So he's both whimsical and mystical, but he's also scary. So what he will do is he'll command the universe to drop the sand upon the children to go to sleep, as opposed to being a little nymph-like creature that pulls sand out of a bag. The Dew Fairy, we're dealing with, going to sort of play with transparency and also a movement. So she has a very transparent costume that's very organic looking, but then also has this huge butterfly headpiece that's extended beyond her physical self through the use of projections. So hopefully what will happen is when she enters, she will fill the stage with butterflies, and that sort of brings a little levity to the forest at that moment. The witch, we're really working with augmentation because it's played by a man, Rob Clark, who's already 6'3", but we really want to emphasize the relationship between how vulnerable the children are and how small they are and how big this witch is. And we really talked about the witch has to be something, I think children know in their gut when something is evil, but the witch had to be something identifiable that the children felt comfortable with and overcame their fears and went with the witch. So the witch is an old Germanic lady, but we're augmenting Rob Clark's form by the use of padding and building up his shoulders and his headpiece and his footwear. So we hope that he'll be over 7 feet tall when we're finished. I don't think I've worked on a production before where projection and costume and set and props have been so integrated. One of the things I haven't talked about is there's also lighting in the costumes. We have angels in the show, and we're using some new high-tech fiber optic fabrics that actually will light up, and so that's a very big first for us. So we'll be actually working with electrics on that. So this is a very high integration collaboration, and so it's going to be a really fun ride for us to just figure it all out.